Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to Will It Steam Controller. This is the show where we ask the question, can I use the Steam controller to play this game? And obviously the answer is yes. Today we're looking at the lightning fast twitchy RTS from Blizzard Entertainment, Starcraft 2. That's right, you heard me. I decided to tackle Starcraft 2 for my next game. Let me tell you guys, it took quite a while to even get something halfway decent. I decided that I wouldn't even make a video of this game unless I could win a ranked match against a real person. Let's see how I fared. I cannot stress enough how fast this game requires you to be competitive. The whole reason the concept of APM, or actions per minute, exists is because of this game, for Pete's sake. So just like many other games, I put the mouse on the right trackpad. I didn't want to fiddle-faddle around with floaty mouse control, so I turned off acceleration and set it to high friction. I want to be precise with my mouse movements. You'll see how successful I was with this later on. I have the joystick on arrow keys for panning the camera. Now to some more game-specific stuff. Like in my video on Sins of a Solar Empire, another real-time strategy game, I wanted a way to be able to use control groups. Normally you can assign a control group by selecting some units, holding control, and then pressing one of the number keys 1 through 0. I put the right bumper as the control key, and then put a radial menu of the 1 through 0 keys on the left trackpad. You need to be able to switch between control groups quickly, and I wanted those keys to be as accessible as possible. The left grip is the shift key, which is an often used key. It lets you add units to a selection or queue up commands for a unit to follow. Now, the joystick is great for panning the camera around small distances, but what if you need to look at something across the map? Normally, you can click on the minimap or even click and drag over it to change where the camera is. So here's what I did. I made an action layer which changes the left trackpad into a mouse region when you hold the left bumper. This mouse region is centered over the minimap, so by holding the left bumper and moving around the left trackpad, I can instantly move the camera across the map very accurately. Finally, one of the most cornerstone of functions, the thing that will make or break the Steam controller's ability to play this game adequately: hotkeys. How am I going to be able to use all of the hotkeys in this game? Every StarCraft player knows that you need to use keyboard shortcuts for everything in this game to be competitive, but there's just so many. And each of the 3 different races has their own set of hotkeys. I briefly considered making a different action set for each race, or even a different config entirely. But finally, I decided to just try and recreate the keyboard on the touchpads. Pressing the right grip will turn both trackpads into a somewhat abbreviated keyboard. I couldn't quite fit all of the keys I wanted, but it will do. Each trackpad has 12 keys on it, corresponding roughly to the 2 halves of the keyboard. Additionally, this also makes the B button map to the B key, and the Y button to the V key, which are the hotkeys to tell a worker to build a building or build an advanced building, respectively. So, how did all of this madness work out? Let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I have, no joke, about 20 years of muscle memory to overcome to use this config, and this was hard to get used to. It became just a little easier with every game I played, but I lost a lot. I fumbled around so much with hotkeys. It takes so many button presses that are order specific just to make a basic building, and I had a really hard time using the mouse accurately to select specific numbers of units. However, I told myself I wouldn't even bother making a video unless I could win a match against a human opponent, and eventually I did. It was a good fight. They did a lot of harassing in the early game with a Reaper and SCVs, and they had a lot of stiff defenses at their base, but eventually I was able to overcome. In fact, at the moment I have a roughly 40% win rate using the controller. Not great, but better than I thought it would be. So, does that mean I can wholeheartedly recommend this config? I'm sorry folks, but I really don't think I can. Yeah, I think this is a great experiment and a great exercise in using the controller, but I just don't think it's worth the time it would take to learn how to use the controller competitively. Now, for single player stuff and the occasional game against bots, sure, this could be a great way to play a relaxed game while on your couch. And to be honest, I think with a lot of time and effort, you could eventually be almost as good as a mouse and keyboard player, but really, what's the point? Not everything needs to be played with the Steam controller. But hey, you are your own person. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If you become a pro StarCraft 2 player using the Steam controller, I would love to hear how you did it. Thanks everyone for watching. I really enjoy making these things. Let me know what you thought of this config in the comments, as well as ways you might think to change it. I'd also be interested in hearing suggestions for games to play in the future. For now, happy Steam controlling, and I'll see you guys next time.